There we go. So good lord. Last time you guys managed to escape Elysium with a you know, just a horrible time had by all at this resort, I would say. The doctor, who is your main ally, stabbed, having to kill a famous buzzball team. The quarantine just barely lifted as you stop that horrendous signal from corrupting the population of this area. As you did a chase challenge to escape a horde of robots and the crazy ass Kane up here, who's the head of security. So you guys are currently, after, being given like the, hey, thanks for everything from two of the ships that were still patrolling the outside of the hotel. You guys are in the drift, kind of just passing the time, closing in on your next destination. You guys are going to the planet of Verces, which is in, I'm actually going to switch us here once Roll20 cooperates with me to just an image of the Pact World system. Oh, whoops. Just realized I wasn't in player view on the stream. But you guys are going to Verces, which is this planet here. It is the 4th planet out from the sun. Used to be the 5th, if Galarian was still there, but of course Absalom Station now takes Galarian's orbit. You can kind of see on the picture there that one side is like barren desert, and the other side is just all ice, because it is orbitally locked. It rotates around the sun, but one side is always facing the sun, one side is facing away, leading to only this thin strip of habitable material that kind of goes down the middle. Now, you all were specifically looking for the city of Kuvikara, which we will check out in just a moment. But before we get there, I'm going to bring us out. We haven't used this map in a while, but I'm going to bring us back to the map of the inside of the Celosia. Presumably, there, with your guys' upgrades, there are now some more below decks areas. But here's just like a general view. We got our different rooms for the players. You guys have the alien grub over here. You have the drone that was, reprogrammed by Kos himself. You have, that's Ruby. Oh, actually, I can add a name token. I believe you guys have control of Ruby now, or you should. I showed them to everybody. You also have 2 hover trikes, which were those land vehicles you took from the original planet you guys were on in the Aeon Throne campaign, which was... Why am I blanking?
At least 30 years ago.
Nakondis. That was the colony you guys were at. And like in thanks for freeing them from that occupation, they let you take 2 of those trikes with you. And then I kind of just placed our big ass mining robot is down there in the corner. So a hefty amount here. Now, I believe currently only one of you has succumbed to a form of corruption. And that someone will be Flack. That being said, as you guys are going through the drift, I rolled earlier, it took you about 2 days to make this jump from the diaspora of all these asteroids to Verces. In that time, you guys would have had to sleep twice. I'm gonna need everybody to give me a will save.
Is this a mind affecting?
I'm double checking the exact thing. Party must attempt a will saving throw. Has anyone engaged in any willfully malicious behavior during this time in the drift?
I don't think so.
Okay.
It doesn't feel very on brand.
We're all friends here.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, we got 19, 15, 22. Oh, and the 10 was just the. Was that for Grub? Who was that for? Is that just an extra roll? Cost, my good man.
It was an extra because
Oh,
the
okay.
22 took forever to come through for me.
And Uru, our bear is fine. Oh, hey, Kree, what's up? Here we go. Now we got the whole party cruising. I'm not sure how much of that you caught,
Hey,
but basically we're in the drift right now on our way to Verses. All right. So, I mean, sorry, Flack, but looks like it's just you, my guy.
damn.
So, what is my Mentalist Bane ability? Does that allow me to roll again?
So I looked. This isn't a mind affecting effect. This is part of a curse effect, essentially. What does the Mentalist Bane do again? Can you refresh my memory?
It allows me to re-roll at the same DC the next round. So it would be whatever later.
Mentalist.
It also gives me some other stuff. If I save against the thing, I can trick the person into thinking I'm under the effects of it, even if I'm not.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Also, I'm gonna leave that token there for you for a hot second, MK, so you can switch over your bars.
Thank you.
I would say in this situation it wouldn't apply because it's not like a per round type of thing.
Right.
All right. So the first night, just you fail. However, this was two nights of travel, so I need everyone to roll one more time.
One time.
Is this a spell or spell-like? Well, I guess I'm okay.
Jesus Christ.
Rolled better than last time. So.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are fine. You guys are fine there. All right. What's interesting is that'll still only Flack, although these saves are getting harder and harder. Just so you guys know. You all, are kind of tending to your wounds, both mental and physical, after the scarring events of last time. Seeing people dissolve into shadow, watch people, kill each other, fight each other who used to be friends. But Flack, you are going.
Who do I have to kill?
Well, we'll see what happens. So,
You won't?
first of all, after the second night, all of you startle awake, screaming from nightmares that you can't recall. Except for Flack. Flack, you are going to recall your nightmare. You notice a few other strange details. There have been moments where, Koss, you were, down in the engineering bay, by the engines, and a wrench fell on your foot, and it should have hurt, but you have this brief flash of pleasure when it, crushes a toe. Others of you, when you're in very brightly lit areas of the ship, you begin to develop migraines and headaches, as if the light is simply too bright for you. However, that final night, when you guys all wake screaming, Koss, you remember your dream. Alright, let's see.
Cost or Flack?
Flack, sorry. Did I say Koss? I meant Flack. I was looking at Koss's typing and it threw me off. So, you have a dream that you're kind of down in the laboratories, where the Dwarven Mining Guild used to refine ore beneath the station. You don't quite recognize the exact room. Maybe it didn't make it there in that dungeon itself, but you see you're just there in kind of whatever your, time off clothes might be. Not really armor, don't have your weapons, just whatever you go on a nice casual day. Without your gear, things start to look a little different. As the unfamiliar room shifts into focus, its function is not immediately apparent, Harsh fluorescent lights reflect off a row of metal tables, shrouding the rest of the room in darkness. Glass jars on a nearby counter contain sterile swabs and syringes. An open box of surgical tools lays ready near the jars. The scrubbed metal floor and pristine surfaces suggest the chamber may be a medical bay or a clinic. A strange metal apparatus is mounted to the ceiling. Thick wires dangle from the device like lifeless appendages, ending in circular electrodes. A strong medicinal scent permeates the chilly air. The click of heels on the cold metal tiles shatters the silence. A vaguely humanoid figure dressed in a white lab coat approaches. Her face is wreathed in shadows, but her eyes seem to glow from within. Students, today you will duplicate a procedure of my own invention on a test subject. All right. So here's the thing. Most of you guys aren't remembering this. However, you did all still dream it. It's just that only Flack gets to remember it. Flack, you suddenly find yourself restrained. You find yourself restrained along with Koss. You look around and see the other 3 members of your party are also likewise wearing white lab coats. Students, please, we're going to make an incision starting from just below the sternum all the way down to the waistline. Koss and Flack, you guys can make an acrobatics check to try to squirm out of these. All right. Neither of you do. Now, in the dream, do the rest of you follow her directions, or do you try to resist?
Stanford a prison experiment. I'm gonna make an incision.
All right. As you make an incision, you feel an increasing sense of euphoria as you begin the dissection. Koss, you take 7 damage straight to your health. How about Zashi and Uru? Do you guys also just kind of go with it, thinking it's a dream, or do you try to resist?
So we see it as our shipmates in front of us in our dream.
Yes. And once you make this decision, we're going to roll for initiative as well.
I think Zashi doesn't do it.
Okay. Uru, would you do it? Okay. In that case, we're going to roll for initiative here. Ugh, disturbing.
I don't know what that noise is, but I am imagining something very upsetting.
I don't know really know exactly either, but it doesn't sound good.
High-pitched screeching, like, terror.
No, I hate that noise.
Yeah.
All right.
So, I need to add to my initiative modifier, but I don't know how yet. So whatever I roll is going to be +4. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine. You can add it on your sheet afterwards. I'll just manually add it higher, so it's going to be 23.
Nice.
And then Flock needs 1, and our bear needs 1.
I rolled.
Oh, did you? Maybe you shouldn't. Okay, let me add you in. Flack got 17, and Uru I assume that's probably down to some lag, but 26. We'll go with the initial one, which was also the best one. Okay. Let me just reorder our initiative. This is effectively going to last 6 rounds. I'm gonna die as a countdown here. All right. So Uru, it is your turn first. You can either decide to cut either flak or Koss, or you can make a computer or medical check in this room. $21. That's not, since you're not doing it, it's not enough to realize what's going to happen when she does this, but the woman attaches a bunch of those electrodes to all the student doctors, and when you refuse to cut into your subject, you take 13 points of electricity damage. As you hear go, no, you should be more receptive to these lessons. They'll be fine. If you guys see anything else you want to do during the turns, you're more than welcome to try. Zashi.
Doctor lady look like?
So she has a distinctly feminine voice, but her face is completely obscured in shadow. Not even like she's wearing a hood that's covering her. It's just like there's this murky cloud kind of surrounding her whole face that you can't see through. But her eyes are glowing like bright red through the cloud. Apart from that, very like clearly she looks human, at the very least humanoid. Hard to be sure without the face exactly what species. Pretty thin, wearing that white lab coat, but definitely wearing like nice clothes under the lab coat, like designer shirt, very nice slacks, and heels as well.
Can I try to rip the electrodes off of myself?
Yes, that would be a, let's see, the electrodes off. You could either make a straight strength roll or a medical roll. Medicine roll, I guess I should say.
I think I'm gonna prefer strength. Oh wait, let me see. No, actually, medicine's a little better. Okay.
All right. That is not enough. So you kind of start yanking on it, and she's just like, I expected better of you. A soldier should show more grit. You're also going to take 13.
Oh, okay. I didn't. The first time was just Uru.
Yeah, the first time was just Uru. He got shocked
okay.
for like refusing to cut into
Yeah.
Koss or Flak. MK,
Right.
you said you did it going for it last time. Do you keep doing it?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so you're going for Flak. Go ahead and roll me 3d6 this time. This is not going to be towards health like directly anymore. We still have to go through stamina. Okay.
Yeah.
Flak loses 12 and is bleeding for 1. So Flak, on your turn, you can attempt a computer or medicine check, just like looking at the room around you, or you can attempt an acrobatics check to break free within the dream.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn now.
I will do an acrobatics check. If roll 20 will roll for me here. It is not.
I feel like it's being really slow tonight.
It looks
I
frozen.
was reading something the other day where someone like this post on Reddit where someone was like compiling all the different like LFG posts, and apparently Thursday is like one of the most popular nights.
Huh.
Like I don't know why that is, but like I would assume it'd be the weekend ones, but apparently like Thursday night is a huge one.
So the first one that went through was a 36.
Okay, yeah, we'll backtrack to the first one there. I know there was a bit of lag on Roll20's part. That's not enough to get you free, but as you kind of like are desperately squirming, you can see there's like a cut into your chest now, like through your fur, and your skin. You're not free, but you feel like your wrists are like starting to like kind of slip through the bonds a little bit.
Holy cow, 36 wasn't enough to get me free.
No. It'll make it easier. The initial DC that you would have needed was a 43.
Oh god, I don't even think I can get that.
Yeah, it's rough. It's a rough time. This isn't a good dream. This is a nightmare. Costs. Would you like to make a medicine check, a computers check, or a acrobatics check?
Are those my only options?
I'm an open go with the flow DM. You have any other ideas in this like creepy nightmare medical lab?
Because realistically, in self-defense, Koss would shoot MK with his laser eye.
I forgot you had a laser.
Okay. Do you try to shoot him with a laser eye? If you do you activate the laser eye?
Yes.
All right. You try, but as it powers up, you feel a surge of feedback in your brain, and it does not activate. As again, the doctor just like, tisk, tisk, tisk. You didn't think I'd take care of anything like that? Oh, how pedestrian. Alright, that's one round of Dream gone. Back to the top.
Can I just
Yeah.
Can I free action spit at her?
You try to spit at her, and in the cold room, it like the spit sails through the air, freezes, and like clatters to the floor as ice.
Oh, what?
Uru, still trying to investigate what's going on in here, or remove wires? What's the game plan? So on your turn, you can do a medical check, a computers check to kind of like investigate this dream room, or you can just cut into one of the tied down party members, Flack or Koss, or try to rip out the electrode that's in you. All right, it's gonna be either a strength or a medicine check, whatever's higher. I hate that Pokemon. Shout out to Electrode. And I know you're in like a different internet connection today, so if you need to type stuff for now, that is fine. I know how it be. All right. Okay, so 23. You do pull out the electrode. You're gonna take 8 damage from doing that. And you see, you hear her like sigh, and she's like, I am trying to help you. All right. She waves her hand, and you're now restrained on a gurney as well. Zashi. Yeah, you're kind of like, shaking at your bonds.
Yeah, I'll try again to get free.
Okay. You do manage to remove the electrode. You're going to take 2 damage from doing that. She is also going to restrain you in this nightmare space. That being said, with the 26, you also realize that the electrodes attached to everyone are feeding data to what looks like a computer terminal in the center of the room. it seems to directly be recording the victim's neurological responses to injury as well as to commands.
Okay, well, I assume breaking out was my action, so. How far away is the computer?
How far away is the computer?
Yeah.
The computer is... Well, she does restrain you to the bed. The computer from the center of the room, let's say like 10 feet from your bed to the computer.
Okay, but I'm now restrained to the bed.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Another one. At least I have one good. It looks like you hear like the T, like she's about to call you a test subject as well, MK, but she's like, student. MK, what do you do? You see that now everyone in the party but you is restrained. Ooh. Hold on. MK?
He's on mute.
Oh, yeah, he's on mute.
I just said like 6 things.
I tabbed back over to Discord. Like, oh, yeah, he's on mute.
Awesome. So I'm going to take this handy scalpel. Can I try to cut one of the party members' restraints with that?
Interesting. Yeah, you're nearest to Flak right now if you want to try to cut it.
Yeah, can I like make it look like I'm gonna cut him again, but trip and get the restraint?
Okay. Ooh, I would say give me like a bluff roll.
Does a bear shit in the woods?
That came through.
Yeah, I heard that.
I hope that's all that comes through on the when this gets posted to YouTube later. It's just that one line: "Does a bear shit in the woods?"
Oh my
Nice.
gosh. Quicker than you can react, she like picks up another surgical instrument off the table, like another scalpel, throws it at yours, and pa-ting, hits your scalpel like out of your hand, kind of goes spiraling against the wall. And you are restrained as well. At this point, we're gonna kind of pause the countdown.
Wait, doctor, I tripped. It was a mistake.
Oh, she like walks over, kind of like pinches your cheeks together. She's like, "I'm sure it was just a mistake." Now, you have so many tough times ahead of you. All of you, really. And most of you are doing such a good job at being yourselves. She kind of glances at Flak. I could help. Would you like a gift? You see, like, she opens her hand, and inside it is, like, this swirling ball of shadow. Just, like, mixes of, like, black, dark gray, and even, like, deeper, the darkness between stars.
Fleck says, "No thanks."
Oh,
And
but
flips her
there's
off.
so many. I could make you resistant to the cold of the void. Flak, your breath stops fogging up. You could, you know, shake off those pesky emotions that so plague you. I could make your corporeal form flicker as if from a shadow. I could make you see through any darkness. You
No
could
thanks.
scare anyone.
Flips her off with the other finger.
Even the chance, if your mind becomes not your own, to snap out of it. You say no thanks to flip her off. Out of character, I'm gonna give you a brief explanation of what she's offering. So you get an innate sense of what exactly is happening here. She wants to give you a shadow manifestation. There are a lot of options, including ones called cold-blooded, cold-blooded touch, deadened emotions, eerie perception, insubstantiality. I'll give you an example. Insubstantiality. That one's a later one. You can't get that one right away. Let's take eerie perception. Your eyes turn dull gray, milky white, or glossy black. You gain low light vision and dark vision with a range of 60 feet. If you already have dark vision, it increases by an additional 30 feet. In addition to that, if you are aware of a creature's location and that creature is hidden only due to dim light, darkness, or invisibility, you are considered to be observing that creature until it moves out of line of sight or hides from you. That being said,
cost?
With every gift, there is a stain. The one for eerie perception is that the first time you're exposed to bright light, you're blinded for 1 round.
Yeah, no, there's always a cost for those kinds of things. No thanks.
All right. Anyone else?
Wait, is she talking to everybody or just...
She's talking to everybody.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll for it.
Okay.
Evens, he'll take a gift. Odds, he won't.
Ooh, I'm curious. Giving them evens. All right. Well, that was you don't take one.
I forgot.
Yeah. It was, yeah. No, because I said I wanted evens because I wanted to give you something. Yeah, that's you don't take it. You kind of Uru like spits on the floor, and it's an impressive spit. You know, you're a bear.
Bear loogie, best loogie.
Bear loogie, best loogie. Anybody else? Zashi, Koss.
Nah.
What was that incorporeal form?
So that one you actually, for insubstantiality, you need to already have at least other manifestations too. But what that one gives you is that if you are hit by a crit, there's a 20% chance to ignore the fact that it's critical hit.
I like the sound of that.
You mean they tell me we get minor fortification?
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah. But there's a stain to it as well, and that's if an ally targets you with a beneficial spell that has a range of touch, there's a 20% chance you don't gain the spell.
No one
Well, nobody else casts any spells, so
all right,
you guys are good.
Oh,
so and
none
what
of
were
you
the
guys
other
even want
ones?
the ability to teleport through shadows?
Yes,
Wait, go back. What?
I want that.
You gotta accept the darkness. You gotta work your way up to the really good ones.
Bet. You know, on second thought, maybe I'll peruse your gift. Just get me out of this thing!
All right. I'm gonna list you some options of ones that you can take without needing other manifestations. She turns to you, kind of holding the darkness. The first one is cold-blooded. The chill of the deep shadow has you inured to cold. You gain cold resistance 10, and if you ever have 3 or more other manifestations, the resistance increases. Resistance 5, and then it increases to 10. However, your appearance becomes disturbingly pale. Reduce your charisma by 1. You also have deadened emotions. You are hollow inside. You gain a +2 insight bonus to bluff checks and saving throws against mind affecting. If another creature attempts to read your mind and you succeed at a saving throw, you can render that creature shaken as they read your emotionless mind. You can do that same to a creature that fails a bluff, diplomacy, or intimidate check against you by directing your lifeless gaze at it. But any morale bonus you gain is reduced by 1. Next is that dark vision one I talked about. Then there is fearful. This is the one that the buzz blades were using on you. Or sorry, frightful. This is what the buzz blades were using on you. When they hit you, you can make like a free intimidation check to demoralize them with a +2 bonus to the intimidate. However, you take a -2 penalty on saving throws against mind affecting things that aren't illusions.
Kind of like that one. And I think that one fits Uru best. He's a big, intimidating bear.
The frightful one? Okay. I want to put the full thing in the chat on Roll20. This is frightful.
Yeah, I'll definitely take that one.
All right. She sinks the shadow in her hand into your chest as you gain a shadow corruption.
Zoinks.
Does it hurt?
It doesn't hurt. It just it feels like you drank like pure ice water.
Brain freeze.
All right. Give me one
I
sec.
can remember though, right?
You guys all wake up, and Flack, you're actually going to automatically gain one randomly, as shadow corruption is starting to take hold of you. You gain the cold-blooded manifestation for Flack. So cold resistance 5, your charisma goes down by 1. You guys all wake up, screaming like I described before, but, it's like, oh, must have been a nightmare. Flack, you remember the whole thing in vivid detail. Additionally, everyone gets 6,400 XP for experiencing this terrible nightmare.
Wow.
Oh, it does build character.
Yeah, I mean, experience is about what you experience in the world, and that, boy, was that an experience.
I think my therapist was right.
All right.
It says your appearance becomes disturbing. What does that mean?
So for Flack, I was thinking, that since you have like the white fur normally, like kind of that whitish gray.
Yeah, white and gray. Yeah.
I think it's gonna kind of take on like a bit of a sickly pallor. Like your fur is white, but kind of like when a polar bear gets really dirty, like your skin underneath is starting to yellow. It's giving you this kind of like yellowish, sick tinge to yourself. Yeah. Bring us out of initiative. Do you do anything with this information, Flack? Like, you wake up, you know it's a dream, but you remember the whole thing. Like, do you tell your friends about your crazy dream?
I remember the whole thing, but I don't know that. Yeah, I don't know what he would do. Let me think about this. I think he'd just keep it to himself. He was scared out of his mind.
Yeah, you could also just keep it, like, for now to yourself. You're not going to forget. So it doesn't have to be immediate.
I do know that MK sliced me up, and I do know that Uru willingly took some of the shadow. So I do have some questions in my mind. So yeah, I don't think I'd talk to them.
Okay. I think the crew probably like heads to the bridge for like final approach checks to Verses. Probably a little bit quieter than normal. Just, not a very good night's sleep.
Can we see the difference in Flack?
Yeah, you totally can.
Well, I'm wearing full body.
I guess, yeah, only your face. Are you wearing a helmet right now?
No, I don't normally wear a helmet. No.
Okay. I mean, I would say your face is certainly like kind of that sallow color right now.
Ugh.
Flack, are you feeling all right? You look ill.
I don't know. I had a bad dream last night. Let's get this done.
All right. All right. So, you guys know that you're still looking for weapons shops, bays to refit that, and you would know that you're looking for the city of Kuvakara. Kuvakara is like a thriving metropolis. You would certainly be able to find all that and more in Kuvakara. I'm gonna say there's no check needed. You guys are kind of probably researching the city on the way in, while you're in the drift. So I'm gonna read you a quick blurb about it. This is from the memoirs of Anafthi Zaius, who was a pilot from Kuvakara. My body may wander, but as cliche as it sounds, my heart yearns always for Kuvakara. I could travel the universe and never find another city to rival its grandeur. For millennia, the cradle of the Klabani Range has protected our city, and the winding Rudon River inspired our eternal wanderlust. From the Lemniscate greenbelt at the city's heart to its glass skyscrapers that mirror the crimson sky, Kuvakara is a jewel set within that twilight between dreams and reality, an unsleeping metropolis where anything is possible. And I'm actually going to bring you guys over to the Kuvakara little kind of art piece here. The city of the future that you are approaching.
Very Blade Runner.
Oh, very Blade Runner for sure. I would say you guys would know just generally the country you're heading into is this is the capital city of Vimal, which you guys know there's like that ring of nations around Verces Belt where the habitable zone is. This is like one of the largest members of the Ring of Nations. So pretty powerful area. You also know that like that description from the guy was very florid and accurate, but the fact remains it really is like a twilight constantly here because you never see the full side of the sun or away from the sun. It's never truly night or day along the belt. It's in this perpetual like dusk state. But as you guys enter orbit and then the atmosphere of Verces, you can see illuminated landing strips guiding you toward the spaceport located within the northeast facet of Kuvakara. The city, which is known as the Dusk Jewel, is divided into 8 sectors or facets. And I will actually bring you guys over to a map of the fastest in just a second. Beneath an early evening sky stained crimson and gold, a craggy island rises 1,000 feet above blue-gray waters. A white dome structure occupies most of the island's surface. Concrete landing pads jut out from the island's cliffs, illuminated by blinking blue and green lights. Other ships coast toward the spaceport in slow spirals. A sprawling city of dazzling skyscrapers, laced with a grid of roadways and elevated transport tubes containing trains, glitters across the river to the south. Visible even from this height, hollow billboards advertising a range of products in common and versite flicker in the dusky light. Do you guys wish to do anything as you kind of approach Kuvakara?
Coswood, he would like to heal himself by like a medicine or science or something.
Yeah,
because he took actual damage.
Those damage, it vanishes when you wake up.
Oh, okay.
Although I will say, even though you don't remember the dream, there's probably a brief moment of panic where you like grabbed that wound, and then we're like, oh, there's nothing.
You're healed.
Oh, beautiful. All right, as you guys kind of, getting closer, Doppler, your VI, kind of, blue and yellow scientist hologram pops up. All right, we're now approaching the city of Kuvakara on Verces. Just head in right through there. You'll be lifted in by the machine arms into the hangar. As the AI kind of directs you in, VI, excuse me, these giant like machine arms kind of chunk magnetized to your hull, lifting you inside. a tube of weird, like, silvery metal connects to your airlock, and you are able to walk out into the hangar itself. There are... Give me one sec. I had a sound pack for our docking bay. All right, and pause music. All right, it's just like engines coming in, you know, hear the servos of robots, takeoffs, landings. People spark up some welding torches to repair all this stuff. And you're in just this, like, thriving metropolis. You see that there are some Verthani here. I'm going to pull up Verthani. Verthani are the natives here, and they certainly are a bit of a strange folk. I'm going to make their token big so you guys can see. They all have these, like, pure black eyes and are a lot taller than the average humanoid. This guy, for example, will probably be about, like, 6'8", 6'9". But they seem like pleasant enough folk, and the Verthani kind of wave you through. Oh, come on in, you know. This is the commercial spaceflight here. Docking is included. Don't worry about it. As they kind of wave you through, they briefly, like, you know, scan you guys individuals you pass just to make sure not anyone on the most wanted list, things like that. There are hollow billboards within the spaceport as well as throughout the city. And you see that they are a combination of common and versite. One of the ads, emblazoned with the image of a black sphere radiating golden light, is for a new social media app called Penumbra. Now, you guys have already heard about the Penumbra initiative here. Give me a culture check.
Would this be concerning any kind of criminal underworld?
It is not.
Rats.
All right, we got some good rolls here. Anything over a 15. Oh no, sorry. Actually, anything over a 20 is gonna get this for you. So Koss and Flack. This is the new and improved logo of Eclipse Innovations.
Interesting.
Yeah, the people who seem to be behind that sample app over at the resort. At this point, this is the first time you guys have been in a large populated metropolis. There is fully an infosphere to connect to again. Basically, the internet is here now. So anyone can make a diplomacy check to gather information about Eclipse Innovations if you would like. And I'm going to bring us over to the map of Kuvakara.
Wow. You said a diplomacy check?
Ooh.
Yeah, diplomacy to gather information. So you guys are currently in that crazy dome building over the water in the top right. The Kuvakara Spaceport. Excuse me, over the lake. That's Rudoan Lake, where the river kind of pools. Oh, that nat 20 coming in right away. I mean, a lot of this information is public knowledge. You very quickly find the location of the Eclipse Innovations head office. It's in the west facet of the city. Which is over this way.
What's the gloaming?
The Gloaming?
Yeah.
Alright. Let me pull up the exact description. That would explain why I typed it wrong.
Oops, sorry.
So, no, you're fine. The Gloaming is, here's my section on this. Located in the north facet on the banks of the Rudoan River, the Gloaming is a luxury housing development equipped with private security as well as its own central park and exclusive beaches. Unlike the elevated communities of the Northwest Facet, the Gloaming is open to paying visitors. Several upscale hotels and a beach resort cater to non-residents who can afford the amenities. A few different corporations own real estate in the Gloaming, at least on paper, but popular rumor has it that a single individual owns the entire development. And the conspiracy theory kind of goes that there have been numerous reptoid sightings in that neighborhood. You guys actually met, one of the few she got corrupted, but one of the few non-conquering reptoids earlier in this campaign. Normally they can hide as any type of species and not their reptilian nature.
Well, should we go straight to the corporate offices? I feel like that's where our business takes us. Or do we want to try to find somebody to refit the Celosia first?
What are... Yeah, no, I heard you. We're just trying to find information on this, right? Like, it's not like we have an appointment. We can just go in. Like, we just, you know what I mean? Like,
Split up
what is our intention here?
I mean, the information you guys got, that, like, a lot of disturbing stuff happened there. You're kind of looking for information on Eclipse Innovations, especially if it feels like that was a trial run of what they did. And from those servers you guys hacked that, like, they're working on the Penumbra Protocol, which now you're seeing all these, like, ads in the city of, like, ooh, the new Penumbra app coming soon from Eclipse Innovations.
Maybe we should try to
copy or something.
Yeah. Maybe we should try to warn the stewards or something.
Maybe.
Mess up the
Yeah, that's a good idea.
You could also look for the, there's the stewards. They do maintain a presence on this world still, but there's also, like, the actual guards that run this stuff.
Yeah, the local police or whoever.
I feel like this is a local company. They might have
police
ears on the police force.
Oh,
the local.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Who was our contact at the stewards in the last campaign?
Oh, yeah.
Let me pull up her name really quick. Give me one sec.
Damned if I can remember.
I'm drawing a blank. You can look at my notes, I guess.
I have it here somewhere. I know I uploaded it to this game on Roll20. I'm just blanking on her name right now.
Judy.
Yeah.
I just made that up.
Here's an image of the stewards, though. Can find that fast enough. I will look it up as we go, but you would definitely be able to, like, reference her as, like, a contact.
Yeah, I think maybe we send a encrypted message to her with sort of all the information we have and what we're up to.
Okay.
See if she has any information for us that might help us, or ask her if if they know anything about this, I guess.
Yeah, I would say it would probably take her a little bit to get back to you. And I know you guys were, like, saying, like, well, like, what if they have, like, you could, like, use the infosphere to gather information again about the local police force, see if there's any, like, rumors about them or things like that. All right, 19.
I'll jump on that too. Diplomacy is crap.
All right. So, like most, large metropolises, there are rumors of, corruption scandals, bad cops that have been fired, that kind of thing. But you know that department typically has a reputation of being like fairly well handled. You would know the current head of the police force is Kulakar Pumal. And he is actually a great example of the idea that like the poor are never ignored in Kuvakara. They don't have to worry about going hungry. They are always able to do something. And like Kuvakara's fresh markets and supply dispensaries provide free parcels to any of those residents. Pumal is really considered a man of the people, as he like took advantage of all those benefits through the police force, worked his way up from his poor beginnings, and now runs the police force.
It sounds like it could be helpful.
Yeah, you know, he's also done some recent lobbying work as part of a coalition for like government-funded education for less than fortunate people. So you know, at the very least, like, at least the head is like, you know, seems to be trustworthy.
Yeah. Well, maybe we take what evidence we have to him, or to whoever this is, and then go confront the corporation. I mean, I'm not sure what that would look like, though.
Yeah, and something else too. I think maybe we split up, and some of us go do that. I'd like to use my underworld contacts to see if I can get any, you know, under the radar information about this corporation and stuff that's going on around here.
Good.
Okay. Give me the check with your bonus for criminal connections then. Okay, you make some backup copies. Do you like store one on the ship as well? Can you kind of keep it back there? Presumably. Ooh, wow. Okay. Also, sorry, this is a brief side note as I happen to tab over to this other tab I've opened. You guys remember when you first researched this area that the Verthani are very good at making augmentations, and they have like some unique augmentations that you can buy on this planet.
Ooh.
For instance, there's like a modification that like uses nanotech to replace the like ridges between your fingertips, so you don't leave any fingerprints when you're on a place. However, you can use a resolve point to manifest fake fingerprints to fuck with evidence.
Wow.
Yeah, there's some crazy shit. There's like adrenaline boosters, bionic knees, emotional regulators.
Is there a list of these somewhere?
Here, I will actually... Probably the easiest way to do this... Fuck. Because these were added in this book. My mouse is going crazy on my laptop for some reason. Or my touchpad is, I mean. I'm gonna take a screenshot and put it in Discord of just the short list of the names. And if any of them sound interesting to you, I can, like, expound on them.
Sounds good.
There's a whole bunch right there. But Flack, you would know that the southwest facet is the industrial facet. It's reserved for typically factories and assembly plants. Regardless of the zoning, the southwest facet, drab, low-lying buildings shelter lots of nomadic shanty towns constructed by immigrant workers and homeless Kuvakarans. Since most Kuvakaran industry is automated, these disenfranchised laborers have a different time integrating with the city workforce. This also makes it an ideal place for criminals and those kind of subverting the law to hide out.
Okay.
Kind of the southwest facet would probably be your best bet. To find like criminal activity you could ask about.
Yeah, that's where I would head.
Okay, so Flack's heading to southwest to like the industrial district down here. Who's going to the stewards?
Oh, I sent a message to our.
Oh, you're just
steward
sending it
contact,
directly to
right?
her. Okay, gotcha.
I guess, does someone want to alert, like, the local authorities? MK can do that.
You want to go to the local authorities? Okay.
Yeah, just so they know, first of all, that they know we're in town, and second of all, that this company is up to no good.
Hell yeah. All right. So we'll start with you then. Going to the local authorities here. You go to, it's near the heart of Kuvakara. Is like the central, like kind of like one police plaza for New York is like the equivalent is near the heart. As you enter the front desk, there's a lot of local city guards on duty. They kind of have this gray, and like any armor on them is usually gray, and then the color scheme of like the police officer uniforms is actually green and gold. But there's like a person not wearing any armor, just like the typical uniform at the front desk. Is another Verthani man. Just like, hello, sir. How can I help you?
Yes, I guess I would like to report a crime.
He just like nods, like, yes, this is the police station. We do that.
Is there an officer or someone I could talk to about it? Not a desk sergeant.
Kind of frowns. Yes. I could.
It's kind of a sensitive issue.
All right, I could direct you to Sergeant Lowell. It kind of redirects you over to here. I'll put her token on the map. This Verthani one with a face tattoo. You wish to report a crime, sir? Here, step over to my desk. We'll have a bit of privacy. She kind of like motions you over to a desk. There's like one of those like cubicle walls set up around it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Name?
My name?
Do you wish to remain anonymous?
Yeah, actually, I would.
Oh, well, that's fine. I just won't be able to, unless you have some sort of way for me to get back to you, I wouldn't be able to follow up. But what is this crime that you were talking about?
Well, some friends of mine and I were staying at a resort out in the diaspora that was operated by one of your local corporations, and they were doing some kind of bizarre experiments there.
Oh my!
That led to a lot of people getting brutally murdered.
Murdered?
Yeah, straight up murdered, like sliced open.
Writes like straight up, underlines it on her notepad.
Murder.
She's like, these are very serious accusations. Do you know? Are you? I hope I'm not prying too much, but are you a local resident of Kuvakara, or someone living on Verses? I know the vacation is in the diaspora.
No, I am neither. We're actually here to follow up our investigation into the corporation, given what they did at Elysium. We felt obligated to look into them a little bit more.
All right. Do you know the name of this?
MK definitely does. I have forgotten.
It's Eclipse Innovation.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I kept
you're
thinking
fine. You're
Black
fine.
Sun for some reason, or I don't know.
I mean, Black Sun's like pretty close. To be fair, the description of the logo was like a sun being blocked out by a black circle, so
yeah,
that's a pretty fair guess, I would say.
It is Eclipse Innovations. We believe that they created some kind of techno-magical signal that they delivered via a application, and we're concerned that they're about to do the same in Kuvakara, given all of their ads for this new. I don't know if you've seen the ads for this Penumbra app, but my advice would be not to download it.
She nods her head. Give me a sense motive check on her, actually.
Oh, my strong suit. Not terrible.
Hey.
29. You think this is most certainly not the first time she has heard about this company, specifically in a criminal sense.
Oh. You seem like you might know a little something about Eclipse Innovations.
She kind of like looks you up and down, like a little bit of like, oh, this fucking android's quick on the uptake, like.
Yeah, you racist.
She's like starts like a detective. she's like, oh, I've heard complaints before, none that I could share with you, of course.
Let me show you a little bit of what I'm talking about. Can I like play security footage from Elysium? On
Yes,
my
because you
datapad
guys
for her?
did manage to crack all 3 servers, and one of them was the security feed one. Also, I did find the woman, just so you guys know. It is Major Deparda Evosco. I will show the handout. One sec. This is the major that you guys spoke to from the stewards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You play some security footage. Are you trying to find stuff like the people like fighting each other? You know, like
Yeah, the people doing crazy shit, like clawing each other, and corpses coming back to life, filled with shadow energy, and the highlight reel.
The highlight reel, yeah, for sure. Okay, she hard to read her a little bit, but you see her jaw tighten as she looks at this, like these horrendous scenes of violence, and she's like, would you mind following me up to the main office?
To whose main office?
Our chief of police, Kulakar Pumal.
Ah, the chief. Excellent. Yes, I would love to.
All right. And she is going to bring you up. I'm going to kind of shrink her down a little bit so I can show you our next person here. That was kind of just some general Verthani art I had, but this is a official one they had here from the book. This guy showcasing the green and gold, this is the man himself. Chief of Police Pumal.
It's uncomfortable for sitting behind a desk.
You see, like, I mean, that's a great observation. Like, you go into his office, you see he's sitting there, working on paperwork, but this is clearly not someone who is, like, this isn't just politics. He isn't, like, a cushy job where he's, like, finally the chief of police. This guy's making moves to make the city a better place, or so it would seem. Like, he's dressed in, like, full armor.
Mm-hmm. Hello, Chief.
Sergeant Lowell, what are you... Hello? Have we met before? I don't recognize you.
No, we have not. Your sergeant was going to, I think, introduce us.
Sir, this is... Well, I don't believe you gave me your name to remain anonymous, but the point is he is from out of town and has some footage that he's blaming on Eclipse Innovations. You see, you can kind of, like... He has one of those hollow screens, like, semi-transparent. So you can see he's, like, clearly working on different documents. You see him, like, hit a key on the keyboard, and, like, the whole thing, like, shuts down and puts his full attention on you.
Oh. Well,
I
yes.
am all ears.
And I'll sort of walk him through what I told her about what we found in the diaspora when we were staying at Elysium, and I'll play him the same sort of footage. I'll try to skip around the footage of us slaughtering possessed people.
Okay, fair enough.
As best I can. No need for him to see that, but
Good idea.
Yeah, it's fair.
fast forward through it.
Okay. You show him all that. And he kind of just like very intensely watching it, like trying to take in every detail. At the end of it, he kind of leans back in his chair. He's like, it's frustrating.
But I'm sorry, what's frustrating?
He kind of gestures at the data you've been showing him. This is certainly proof that something's happening. Look, how to put this? All of a sudden, this company seems to be throwing around a lot of money from the west side right now. Considering they, until recently, are a relatively small tech company. The footage you're showing me here, well, I suspected that one of their new directors might have some, how shall we put it, less than polite ideas. This guy Reese, you guys absolutely know.
Wasn't that the guy who was
Kalon Reese was absolutely the man who was there at the party.
Oh.
He's like, here's the thing. They have a lot of lawyers. Not only that, they have private security. I can't march the police up to his front door. If you don't mind me asking you, sir, how did you get out of here? Or get out of the resort?
I have powerful friends. We were able to extricate ourselves.
He kind of looks at Lowell and just like, Lowell, could you kind of motions at the door. She like walks back over and closes it and kind of hits a button that it's like those those really fancy bathroom stalls where you like turn the lock and it sends a current through the glass so you can't see through it anymore.
Yeah.
It does that, kind of like immediately frost the glass. It's like
MK's gonna widen his stance slightly as this happens.
He's a full soldier. Pumal's like, it's all right. Look, I can't necessarily take any action here. Were you and your powerful friends, as you put it, able to go investigate Eclipse Innovations? Well, perhaps if evidence were to turn up, things could change.
Something tying Eclipse directly to the Elysium incident, perhaps.
Yes.
Should
Perhaps.
such a thing exist.
He kind of like nods as he sees that you understand what he's getting at here.
And if there were unavoidable collateral damage at their corporate offices?
Well, sometimes things can't be avoided. Companies have investors. Were those investors to be attacked, I'm sure some sort of self-defense argument could be maintained.
Okay.
Kind of nods, offers his hand out to shake with you.
I will awkwardly grab his hand with the wrong hand.
He like frowns a little bit, like, no, maybe this isn't the right call. But as he does, kind of like, all right.
I'm sorry, on Abalon we do not shake hands.
So it's an interesting. You know what? That's not the point. He's like, all right. He's like, look. My best wishes to you and your friends. If you have need of us, sorry. The voice got to her a second. If you have need of us, here is our comm code, or my comm code. Sergeant Lowell, are you comfortable with it? She's like, yeah, of course.
This isn't going to send me to dispatch, right? I'm not going to get some This is your personal line?
He kind of like chuckles. No, it's not going to send you to dispatch.
Okay.
All right.
Is there any other assistance perhaps you could offer us?
Not at the moment.
Form of untraceable credit sticks or anything? Maybe?
You understand, as chief of police, I can't authorize that.
Understood.
But
All right, I'm gonna go pay my taxes.
it's like you don't have to try that hard. You know, we're cool.
Okay. So I will well, I guess once he lets me leave.
Yeah, he lets you leave with this kind of information that like they want to help, but this might be something you have to pull off yourselves.
Politically sensitive.
Yeah, for sure. All right, let's go over to Flack, trying to connect with the criminal element here.
Yeah. So
Is there any like particular kind of criminal element you're looking for here?
So, with my sort of background and my outlaw sort of thing, I would say I'm looking for, not like sort of street toughs, but I'm looking more for like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
not
like crime bosses,
bouncers, but like more mid-level kind of folks that sort of look like they know what they're doing, look like they can handle themselves. They're more like sort of us, right? Like, yeah.
Okay.
So I might hit up like some bars or taverns or, places like that where they might hang out. Little Italian restaurants, that sort of thing.
That's an interesting idea. Okay. Sorry, this is a very, very open world part of the book. I'm jumping to see what might be the best thing you'd find. What was your check exactly to find? It was like 34?
34, yeah.
34? That's pretty fucking good.
Does Flack need some muscle with him, or?
I think he would prefer to go alone.
Okay.
And then then I'll tab over to Uru, and so Uru and Zashi are together, and then Koss, you're like, what are you? You guys are doing stuff as well, right? Just trying to make sure everyone has a time where they're doing something.
Uru is shopping because all of his vacation Hawaiian shirts are ruined.
You guys are going shopping. Okay. Okay. So with that check, we're gonna go off the beaten path here, as there's not a direct crime boss you'd see at this point, but we are going to have a crime boss, because that's just life. All right.
The goal in this book is to make you create off the top of your head.
That is fine. You know, it happens. All right. Yeah. Okay. So sorry. Let me tab back over to the map you guys are on. You end up over in the southwest facet again. This kind of industrial district. And you've heard that there is a gang of, again, there's a lot of people who are kind of like migrant workers here too. There is a displaced gang of dwarven workers who are led by a rather, not a street tough as you say, but like this is kind of like a mid-level gang. And their boss, so let me drag the token out for you. If Roll20 wants to stop lagging. This is the dude you're going to meet with.
Space dwarf. Awesome.
His name is Molar.
That's a beard.
You end up like kind of at this again, one of those like mobile shanty towns. Keeps moving around to avoid the law, and you meet some of those people like you kind of like, hey, I'm looking for Molar. I hear he might have some information.
Yeah.
And they bring you to their boss. You see this guy, fully as you approach, he is like midway through collecting money from someone who owes them. You see he has like this like glowing shield, like blue energy shield, and this big ass set of what looks like knuckles made out of star metal, like mithril brass knuckles. You see him just like punch this dude in the stomach. He's like clearly not very well off for Verthani guy. He's like, you have till the end of the week to bring back the credits. Get out of here before I do worse to you. Spits on the ground next to him. Boss, what is it? Yosoki, what do you want?
Hey, Moa, I heard, I'm here with some friends and we're looking for some information, and I heard you were the guy that could help me out.
Kind of looks you up and down. Could be, if the price is right.
Well, let me tell you what I'm looking for, and you tell me maybe a price, and we'll meet somewhere in the middle. We have some place we can go a little more private.
You can follow me back to my tent. Brings you to this like weird shanty, but it's like half canvas, half like pallets that have been poorly nailed together to make a wall. You see some of his men kind of trying to go with you guys. He's like, piss off, the lot of you. You don't think I can handle some little rat folk?
Yeah, follow him in.
Kind of settles down. Takes a swig out of a flask. Well, what are you looking for then?
So, my friends and I recently ran into some issues. They were quite crazy. I don't know if you've heard of the company Eclipse Innovations.
I heard of them. They're on half the billboards in the city, aren't they?
Yeah. So this Penumbra app that they have, we're highly suspicious of it. Could be
as you
causing
should
some
be.
problems.
All apps and devices for communication always monitored by the government.
Yeah, not surprising, right?
That's what I'm
So
saying.
I guess the information we're looking for is what is the word on the street about Eclipse Innovations? What is the word on the street about this Penumbra? And do you have any contacts at Eclipse Innovations that I might be able to tap for, maybe doing a little investigation of their facility, if you know what I mean?
Looks you up and down. I might have heard a thing or two about their security. And one more juicy bit of information. Let's call it 700 credits.
Yeah, so Flack takes out a cred stick. It says this cred stick has 500 credits on it. Would that be enough?
Give me a diplomacy check.
Oh, I'm even worse at that now with my -1 to charisma. All right.
$14. Looks you up and down. Well. Alright, but only because I like you. Snatches the credits out of your hand and pockets them.
Awesome.
First things first. If you're looking for their headquarters over on the west side, you should know that they're really only running a skeleton crew. My men say I haven't seen most of their employees head in nor out of there in quite a few days. Of course, that all makes sense. Heard from a brother of mine in construction. He heard some rumors that they've constructed a black site. You familiar with what a black site is?
No. What is a black site?
Kind of shakes his head. He's like, usually it's used in military terminology. It's like a location where secret projects and experiments are conducted. Typically, if someone gets disappeared to a black site, you're not going to see them again. Usually it's very
Do you know where their
serious.
black site is?
No. Black sites are typically kept very secret, but doesn't it strike you as odd that a tech conglomerate would need a black site?
Yeah, there are some sketchy dudes. This is a sketchy company.
That being said, you wanted to know a few facts about the inside. For one,
Yeah, that would be awesome.
you can most certainly expect your run-of-the-mill security droids. Usually, what do they call them? The patrol class. You guys know the patrol class, where those were the ones that were like firing and chasing you guys on the way out of the resort. Not necessarily the most powerful, but like decent enough that they pose a threat if there's a couple of them. One last thing for you. I don't know if this particularly pertains to, the inner workings, but despite currently being marketed as app developers, they've been shipping in a lot of strange tech, I've heard. A lot of military-grade tech.
Military-grade tech. Weapons?
Weapons, arms and armaments. All that.
Are they storing that at their normal location, or is that stuff disappearing off to the black site? Do you know?
That I can't say for sure. This is all rumors. Things I hear in passing. Friend of a friend of a friend, that sort of thing. But the rumors together paint quite a disturbing picture, I would say.
It sounds like it.
Kind of laughs like, well, suppose just means more work for me and the boys, eh? A little bit of crime never hurt anybody.
Never did.
Well,
Crime
if you
pays.
ever want to cut a deal again, you just ask for Molar. Typically, you can find me around the southwest.
I will. And Molar, thanks a lot for helping me out.
Thank you for the credits.
Here's my information, just so you have it. If you come across anything super interesting about Eclipse Innovations, anything else, let me know, and maybe we can come to another arrangement.
He like messages you really quick on his pads, like, and here's my information.
Great. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Okay.
All right.
Shake his hand and leave.
So I believe the soldiers, you guys were shopping together?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. You guys are gonna do some shopping for sure.
I mean, are we? Because I don't even know how much money we have.
That's fair. Well, I mean, we could say, I'm just gonna say, like, during that time, like, this is effectively like the get out of jail free card. Like, you guys take the time to shop for the party and get the shit you guys want.
Okay.
But is there anything like specific you guys might be looking for besides shopping around the city? If not, that's fine. See what Koss has got going on as well.
Uru's just paying attention to the general state of the city.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Okay.
Are there a lot of homeless people around? Does it smell like Colorado? Does it smell like New Jersey?
I would say just give me a general perception check, because you're kind of just watching the city.
Yeah.
11. So, what do you notice about the Society of Kuvakara? Well, first things first. Kuvakara, pretty big metropolis, like 30 million people that live here. You quickly kind of see the breakdown. Not vast majority, let's say like 55% are Verthani. There's also a notable amount of Shirin, human, Then the other most frequent people you see are Kasatha and Yosoki, with 5% of the population being Yosoki.
Now, can we do like slight recon on where the headquarters is?
Yeah, I'd say you guys could go. Give me 1 sec to see where the shopping district really is. But I'd say you guys can only swing by as well. Not in the mansion section, that's for sure. East facet is like where like the restaurants and clubs are, as well as the government. The entertainment and shopping districts are in the south facet. So, kind of, I'm gonna delete Pumal for now. Over here is where like all the shopping is gonna be.
Okay, so we're in the south.
So you would have to go to the west. I mean, you know, a couple miles away.
Is there like a? I'm assuming there's public transport.
Oh yeah. There's tons of public transport. There's a lot of trains going through those systems of tubing through the city. All right. So you guys will be able to find what you want. You would know that if anyone becomes interested in those augmentation stuff, that is typically in the southeast, which is like the tech heart of the city.
I mean, Uru's definitely interested.
A lot of competitive video games there too.
He would scope out video games.
Yeah. There's actually a famous in the like infosphere of the Pact Worlds. There's a gaming team called Serendipity. This is like their home base. But if you're gonna explore, so you guys get some shopping done in the south, and Zashi and Uru, if you guys are kind of just like going to take a look at the headquarters itself, I'm gonna say give me a perception check. I'm gonna say no stealth check needed right now because it's full daytime. The west facet, like there's tons of buildings here. Yeah, like you could just be, you know, tourists. You can even be just regular citizens. They're very confident you're a bear. 22 and a 15, so yeah, system's like a 24. So you guys make your way to that side. You see the Eclipse Innovations headquarters. Looks like a lot of the walls are, you know, made of like steel and concrete. I see some powerful industrial lights outside. You can see there are security cameras at the main door and a few scattered around the periphery of the building. But this is something you guys can see as well. It doesn't look like it's very busy inside. The lights are on, but you don't see a lot of people home through the windows.
I know some people like that.
Fair. I would say, let's see, you guys are scouting around the outside. I would say you catch a view of a few employees. You see some local Verthani working in there. I would say the pair, give me a sense motive check as you like watch the employees. Zashi, you don't really get a sense, but Uru, you live a life as a giant, you know, thinking and awake bear, where you get used to reading the people smaller than you, you know, making sure they're not about to attack you, not about to, you know, hurl insults at you. These people look somehow both very spaced out. They're kind of just like doing very repetitive menial tasks. They also look very twitchy. Like every so often you see like a shiver run down their spine. It's a very disturbing dichotomy of like one of them just copying papers and filing them, copying papers, filing them, but also has like a shiver every so often.
It's weirding me out.
Yeah, so something's not quite right with them.
Uru turns to look at Azashi, goes, "This place creeps me out. Are you getting a weird feeling too?"
Yeah, now that you say something.
Yeah, I think once Uru points it out, Zashi's like, "Oh yeah, like why has that guy just been like making like 3 pots of coffee?"
It's kind of like they're not real.
What is reality?
This whole
Very fair.
module takes place in the Matrix. All right, so you guys get this assessment of the employees, stake out some camera locations around the outside, which I'll point out when we go to that map. We've talked to cops, we've talked to Molar, and Koss. What are you doing in the city at the moment? Is there anything you're kind of looking for? And then after this, we'll take our first break.
Well, first, what's the artificial third eye? Because that sounds cool.
Artificial third eye. Give me 1 sec to tab back over to that. This crystalline nanocarbon node is implanted into your occipital lobe, connected to your optic nerves with a series of microscopic fibers. You can activate and deactivate your artificial third eye with a move action. When activated, artificial third eye collects X-ray data and relays the information directly to your eyes. You gain sense-through vision with a range of 30 feet, though your vision is limited to black and white. The amount of visual information you receive in your third eye while active is distracting, imposing a -4 on initiative checks. Basically, 30 feet X-ray vision, but you get -4 initiatives if you're still using it when combat ensues.
Okay, you'll remember that.
Alright. Follow one of them home.
Going to ask how much it costs to upgrade the ship first.
Alright. How much money are you guys planning on upgrading the ship? Or if you guys want to take a brief pause now while we're deciding that, we could take a 10-minute bathroom break / make sure we have the money right on the ship versus shopping money.
Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, I'm going to run a quick ad for those watching. We'll be back.
Yeah.
Just going to type a quick message in the chat. Alright, let's take a quick 10. I'll run to the bathroom. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So, do you guys think you're like reconvening back at the ship?
Yeah.
Koss wasn't
Yeah.
done with his
Oh yes,
thing.
Koss. What did you decide what you were gonna do?
Yeah, I already knew what I wanted to do, but then you went to break.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Well, in my defense, I really had to pee. All right. What is Koss
excuse.
doing to the city?
Yeah, after he asked about the ship upgrade, he was going to essentially sit at a random cafe and hack into, or attempt to hack into the city, or at least the section of the city he's in, and
Okay.
collect information.
Is there a specific section you want to be in? Like, there's the southeast, like the tech area. The south is, let's see, like clubs and bars and shopping malls.
We're gonna go to the rich area because the rich
Oh,
people
the rich
either
area?
know everything or know nothing.
Okay,
So-
hold on. Where's the mansion section? So there's an interesting part of the city. I would say this would be the northwest section, also where I lived in DC. Shout out back when I lived there. So in the northwest section, it's this again a weird mixture because this is where the city's elite make their homes in these secure gated communities, accessible only via high security elevators. However, below the sky mansions, the shade thrives. This is like government subsidized housing on the ground level. But like above that is like sky mansions.
Oh, this is perfect. We got the slums and the rich people.
Yeah, like right next to each other.
They need to know everything.
All right, I'm gonna say basically you're gonna be using the infosphere. Effectively, you're like looking for anyone that has like an unsecured network or one that can be easily like hacked through in nearby networks that are connected by the infosphere, which is gonna be a mix of like the hyper rich and the poor. So this is gonna be a computers check for sure. $21. And is there anything in particular you're looking for?
Just mentions of the app or the company or anything weird going on with this new company.
Okay. Let's see. 21 is a pretty decent check. There is certainly some talk from like the upper crust that Keon Reese is he's so young that a lot of like the older tech millionaires are like, oh, how did this like young executive get to where he is? And basically a lot of the information is that he was like a child prodigy essentially. By his teen years, he actually had a pretty reliable customer base selling his own personal tech. And he actually began a tech repair business. Eventually, he decided to design apps for his like circle of friends until he got a prestigious internship at Eclipse Innovations. At this point, he became, kind of a rising star, this brilliant young scientist and computer engineer. And at that point, he also began studying as a technomancer as well. So that he's very big on combating this like ageist and like classist prejudice that was levied at him for most of his life. You would also interestingly from kind of the poorer part, like in this the shade as they call it down here, the subsidized housing. Keon Reese is viewed with pretty high respect. He's done a lot of philanthropy, including creating his own series of Keon scholarships to like put impoverished Kuvakaran students through school and college.
So we would look like jerks to the poor people if we took him down. That's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, you would know that like he's kind of has this ageist mentality from a lot of the older people in the city who don't really like him, especially from the rich, but kind of from just your day-to-day people. They think he's like, kind of a local celebrity, and to the point where like they're like, oh, Keon Reese is spearheading this new Penumbra app. It's probably some pretty good shit.
That's how they get you.
Last thing before he leaves,
Yes.
he's going to try to hack into a billboard and say, "Don't use the app. It's
Nice.
cursed."
Ooh. Okay, give me.
I'm gonna say people.
I'm gonna say this is gonna be a separate computers check.
It's made of people.
It's made of people.
Gladly, because a 21 is bad for cost.
Yeah, that's like,
say,
oh my
that's a
god,
low
that's a
roll.
3 on the die. Holy fuck!
Get out of here.
I can't get that shit out of here.
Jesus.
Dang it.
It's okay. It's okay. The DC I was picturing was a 20, but that is fucking hysterical. That was the same roll.
Roll 20 said, "I'll show you."
Roll 20 is like, oh, you're gonna talk shit about how it's easy? Fuck you. Fuck you and the spaceship you rode it on. You do change one of the billboards. One of them kind of like, you see it like over, the big screen, like looming over a bunch of government subsidized housing. Very like 1984 vibes. And it flickers away from this like Eclipse Innovations, like this cool moving logo of the sun shining behind a moon blocking it out. And it kind of changes to this like skull in the middle of the eclipse. That is just like, and all this like creepy like hacker font, like zzz, like staticky stuff. That's like, don't trust the app. Kaon's a liar. Reese is the real problem here.
And I quickly walk away nonchalantly.
Yeah, you hear some like muttering from inside, like you probably at like a kind of like a local like Greasy Spoon type diner area, and you can see some of the other guests are like, the other patrons are like, what the fuck? You guys see that sign? That's wild. But with that, then you guys would be able to reconvene back inside the... Okay, Steam, this is not the time to update, so if you could kindly fuck off. It like popped up and stopped me switching maps as I was like, nope, no, thank you.
You want to update Steam.
So you guys gotta reconvene on the ship. Some of those helpful dock employees I mentioned earlier, they do mention to you guys that they're like, oh, there's local accommodations. You don't have to stay on your ship.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. We're good.
Like,
Last time we stayed not on the ship.
There's
Ship's pretty comfortable.
the Dusky Arms. It's in the South Facet mid-level hotel. Suites containing 1 or 2 beds, kitchenette, bathroom, all pretty good. Free continental breakfast. I get a cut for every person I refer.
Yeah, no, we're good. Thanks.
Nowhere else breakfast is free? On our spaceship. It goes through space.
But I bet y'all are more of a high end, maybe the Sky Jade luxury hotel, Northwest Facet, high rollers, spacious suites, maid service, drinks from the rooftop hotel bar, all complimentary.
What are their
Yes,
anti-zombie
that's with that.
precautions?
They're what?
Anti-zombie
You
precautions.
see the Verthani like slowly blinks like they're pure black eyes. Like undead, like necromancy zombies.
Yeah, what kind of I don't know. Got a fence? What do you do for that?
I mean, it's like a skyscraper. It doesn't have a fence, but I mean, it's got guards. There's a lot of questions to be. Like, if you want something cheaper, there's the slumber warehouse, communal restroom.
Nah, I'm just messing with
Pretty
you.
cheap. It's only like, you sleep in these little efficient pods, like 1 credit a night. Pretty cheap.
Why would I do that when I could just sleep on my ship?
And we have
Thanks,
bad
man.
experiences with pods too.
Yeah, also that.
kind of walks away, like pushing a cart of like engine parts, muttering. He's like, "I'm gonna need my fucking cut."
Get out of here with your cart. Nobody wants to stay in your ratty ass hotel.
Oh, the Sky Jade is a nice hotel. I'll have you. Okay, so you after this guy is trying to convince you to go to various hotels, you do all kind of meet up on the ship. Grub probably like slimes his way over to you all.
Is he slimy?
What's up,
I thought
Grubby?
he had just lots of little feet.
I don't know, man. He's got a lot going on.
It's a whole thing.
He's
Also-
in heat.
Oh
Uh,
God.
Here.
He is being trained to be a mount for
Yeah.
future purposes.
I don't have his stat block yet because I'm waiting to get that
Amazing.
feed. But yes, he does have lots of little feet like a centipede. This is Grub.
He doesn't look very slimy. In my head, he's not slimy.
Okay, maybe like the texture of like a Lunamoth caterpillar. Was that too specific a reference? There's a lot of Lunamoths where I used to work.
It's
There's
fine with me.
a lot of them out here. But I mean, unless you guys are withholding information, I assume you share a lot of that stuff you found, like the police chief saying you can't really interfere. You got that info on like, the weird black site from Molar, as well as like there's like a skeleton crew going right now. For some reason, this like app developer, I mean, they are a tech company, but like clearly the focus has been on app development, or in theory it has been for a while. So like, why do they have military hardware? That would be really funny, actually, if you had one named Cuspid. I didn't like think. I was like looking at random dwarf names. In my defense, it is with an H, M-O-H. But as I was saying, I was like, oh, this sounds like a tooth.
It's fantasy names. They all sound, can't win.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, Koss comes in and he's like, oh, he's the fucking poor people's hero. Man of the people.
Well, in public. Right, exactly.
All right. in
I'll share the comm code for the two cops with everybody, just in case we need it.
Okay. So you at this point you would get a call. Sorry, hold on. Close my thing. A call back from your contact. The major. Sorry, the Major Ivosco.
Nice.
She kind of hails you guys on the ship's intercom. It's like, well, it's been a while, crew of the Celosia. Seems like we're
Hello, Major. I take it you got our message.
I did. I thought you all were supposed to be on vacation.
Well, yeah, about that. As I wrote in the message, it was a insane shit show at that place. We had to fight our way out.
Look, I would love to help more, and you might be able to requisition maybe like some ammo or maybe some consumables from the steward outpost there, but ever since we removed our headquarters to Absalom Station, the majority of the work has been handled by the police there, especially in that city. You could perhaps...
We have been in contact with the police.
Okay, well, I'm glad, and look, just take care. I do. She kind of like looks up, kind of doing a little bit of not an eye roll, but just like looking for the right words. She's like, I trust a lot of them, but all the same, watch your back.
Do you have any information at all on this Eclipse Innovations, or this Penumbra project, or anything? We're scrambling a little bit here to understand what's going on.
She kind of, you hear like her flipping through like some like on her keyboard, kind of typing away. She looks up her files and she's like, honestly, not a lot. They kind of swallowed up a few smaller tech conglomerates. There's this new guy, Kaon Reese, who's one of the new executives, seems to be in charge of the Penumbra Protocol app development. But I mean, on the books, they're just a tech company. I mean, Kuvakara and God, I mean, Verces as a whole, it's rife with tech companies. It's a lot of the high-end computer parts, augmentations, a lot of that stuff that the rest of the Pact Worlds use comes from Verces.
All right.
I will say, she kind of looks down, she's like, you would need more of a local warrant to deal with this, but based on the information, wait, do you guys assume filler and all the other stuff costs? Okay, send her a copy of the evidence as well. Sends the evidence. It's like, well, if your contact, she kind of like, uses the word in air quotes with flack, is accurate, they don't really have permits for certain military hardware.
That's interesting.
I mean, they have some.
If we find some of that, then we'll know.
Yeah, like they have some security dispensations, like a lot of big companies do, where they may have some local droid security or things like that that are within the realm and legal for a private company to own. But once you cross into a certain degree of power, I mean, that's dealing military hardware. And unless you have a contract with a government, that's going to be pretty hard to do. And I can tell you for a fact, at the very least, the stewards aren't... We contract a lot of tech companies for military hardware for the stewards. Eclipse Innovations is not one of them. Welcome back.
What are the other sources maybe of military hardware? Would it be like any government? So they could really be stealing it. I mean, do we know of anything that's been stolen recently?
She does. She's like, look, I mean, you guys did get, at least for now, we haven't gone into full-out war with the Atlantis Star Empire, but during your time trying to get the Aeon drive, the engine. I mean, there were several skirmishes between much higher caliber ships, no offense, than the Celosia, lots of big cruisers, and big battles like that. Some were on the ground, some were in space. Big battles means lots of big hardware sometimes goes missing. Finds its way to bazaars, could be sold illegally. That being said, I mean, as you probably know about Verces, there is a Council of Nations there, the Assembly of Nations. There's a lot of countries around the Twilight Belt.
Okay. Crazy.
Just like, look, I'm sorry I can't be more help. Perhaps if you... tell them I sent you. You could swing by there, maybe pick up a few healing serums, maybe a couple of batteries. Just kind of like a resupply. That's the best I can offer at the moment.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. And if
Thanks for getting
the
back to us
offer
so
is always
fast.
open. If you ever want to join the stewards, we'd be happy to have a scouting group like the Celosia. Just don't have to decide now. Just think about it. All right. He's like, well.
All right. Thank you, Major.
All right. Good luck, Celosia. And kind of cuts out. What's the pay? It's all right. They have a decent funding source. I mean, the stewards are supposed to be like, international peacekeepers. Like they have employees from all manner of people, even a few from the Veskarium, which are like the very militaristic Vesk nation.
The Space Un.
the Space UN. Although definitely not as diplomatic as the UN, I would say. There's definitely a lot more hands-on approaches here. So if you guys swing by there, I would say... I'll roll some dice for it. Give me one sec. I would say you'd be able to pick up... let's see how much they do. I'd say you'd be able to pick up 5 Serum of Healing Mark II.
Oh, sweet.
And
One
there's-
apiece.
Yeah, one apiece. And those are the 3d8 healing ones. The steward, honestly, on duty, they probably look kind of sympathetic. I'm just like, look, I'm good friends with the major. It sounds like some shit's going down, but unfortunately, jurisdiction with the stewards can get iffy, let's say.
Have you guys heard of any local military grade tech being stolen or moved or illegally captured?
Hold on one sec.
Or any leads on dealers?
That's a good question.
Here, I'll make this. Oh shit! Sorry, my roll 20 was like lagging for a second there. This is the person you're talking, by the way. This is a typical steward scout, as they call them. Military hardware. Not that I know of, but I mean, in the Twilight City, Twilight Jewel, if you've got the money, there's not a lot you can't get. Especially if you go down by the shade, I mean, there's money laundering operations, black market deals, seedy clubs. I mean, there's hacker dens in the shade. All sorts of stuff. I'm sure if you wound up somewhere around there, maybe you could start getting shipments of hardware.
Understood. We're just trying to ask all the questions, trying to figure this out.
I understand. Well, here, she kind of like slides, like a leather satchel containing those healing serums across the table, you guys.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Good luck. At that point, unless you guys are you guys trying to bring any like trikes with you, or trying to bring the patrol robot or big robot? Probably not the mining robot, I'd imagine, but
It would be nice to use our trikes. We can use those to get around town.
Sure. Yeah, true.
All right, give me.
Might help us make a faster getaway.
Give me 1 sec, and I will bring you guys to outside Eclipse Innovations. All right.
Can we upgrade the mining robot's AI?
Which AI?
The mining robot?
I'll have to look into the rules for robots, but I believe so. I don't see why not. Right. These maps are a lot better than the other maps. That being said, the grid horizontally is a slight off, just because there's these weird those walls are like off of the grid sometimes. It's a whole thing. But overall, pretty spot on, if I do say so. Well, you guys are a little off right now because I just dragged you on, but that's fine. All right.
So,
I was gonna read the description of the first part, but do you have any question before I do that?
just roll. Cost will temporarily upgrade one of the bikes.
Oh, okay.
Ooh.
You guys follow
Because
some
he
of
has
the...
things he can do with Star.
Nice. You follow some of the city laneways, and costs your bike kind of gets that extra little kick of gas. Oh hell yeah. And I imagine it would probably take 3 of you on one, and then since you're a large-sized Uru, it would be 1 pilot and 1 Uru.
Black will fly with Uru.
But as you
That's a good
guys,
combination.
Flak and Uru, fucking animal squad. Una breaks separated. Oh, the vehicle's piloting modifier increased by +4. That could be very good if we get into a chase. All right. You guys can see that the front door is actually unlocked into a little foyer area.
Well, let's talk a bit about how we want to do this. Are we going in guns a-blazing? Are we going in to try and talk our way through to somebody in particular, or
I say
what are
we light
trying to
them
do
up.
here?
I mean, they slaughtered a lot of innocent people just to develop this app. So,
But
I'm
we
not
might get
feeling-
better intel if we sneak first, shoot later.
Okay.
We can always
Sneak
shoot.
to a computer
always
terminal, man.
Star metal applications.
We could hit a computer terminal. We might be able to get
Hell
a
yeah.
whole bunch of information. I'd particularly like information about that black site location, because that's where all the good stuff's going to be.
All right.
That's fair.
So you do see the front is unlocked, but I'm gonna read you the description of kind of what once you're in that first area. Within this brightly lit foyer, tall leafy green plants grow from ceramic pots on either side of the steel doors to the southwest. The floor is covered in a thin mint green carpet, and the concrete walls are painted in an institutional shade of off-white. A glass double door to the northeast leads to what appears to be a reception area. 2 other doors flank the glass door. Go ahead and give me a perception check in that first area. Ooh. Flak, nat 20, still barely beating the DC. Flak, MK does it too. Flak and MK. You guys realize that there are tiny metallic microfibers woven through the glass doors there. Unless you disable it and unlock it, electricity is going to blast out of those double doors.
Yikes.
You think those are basically 2 different checks, as there looks like there's a key card required to get in over there. Without a key card, you would need to make a engineering check to disable the shock field, the shock grid, and a computer's check to bypass the card reader. But
Maybe we should case around this joint and see if there's another door, back door, window, chimney. Santa Claus down.
Sure.
I'll say you guys can do a full lap. There doesn't seem to be anything though. It seems like there's one way in, one way
Space
out.
chimney.
Are we within
Can
like 60
cost-
feet?
60
at
feet of
any
what?
point of anything else? Like, because I have telepathic sense up to 60 feet.
Oh, if it's well, are you at the door where you are right now?
Yes.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go to the DM layer and measure stuff.
Also, am I the only one that doesn't notice the creepy ass skeleton face at the top left?
Oh, that's just the book art.
That's what you say. Or is it a giant skeleton mech?
I mean,
I mean,
it'd
it
be
could
pretty.
be two things.
It is now, so you're welcome.
Shit.
Yeah, thanks a lot, bro.
My imagination, it runs wild.
Is there a way for Koss or Flak to disable these filaments, or?
Yeah, so it would be an engineering check to disable the trap, and then a computer's check to unlock the door. From your position, you can hear the thought processes of about. Sorry, I'm just adding up the number here. About 6 Verthani. That being said, it seems to be that the same vibe of repetition you saw of the few people you saw through the windows earlier. They're like just thinking like, okay, gotta file this memo, put those papers away, do this task. Just very like repetitive thoughts that they just think about over and over and over again.
I'm
We
going to
did.
relay that to the group. They seem
Office
to
slaves, you guys. Ugh.
they
Ugh.
seem to be repeating. I don't know. Bad vibes.
Routine can be a blessing sometimes.
I think they're
Kind of
cursed.
makes them seem like decoys.
They did say we did learn that they are running a skeleton crew.
Maybe literally.
Who knows?
Maybe we should hang out and see if anybody comes out and ask them some questions.
Or counterpoint, we ram the trike into the door.
My
We could
trike.
explode the trike against the door.
My trike.
I think I've got some nitro somewhere in the back.
That's what grenades are for. We don't need to be ruining our trikes.
That's true.
You put the grenade
Yeah.
onto the trike delivery system.
We have a grenade launcher.
Oh, okay.
Got a delivery system. Dashi just wheels her arm like she's throwing a softball.
High tech.
Fuck yeah.
Uru, you make Koss go back and forth a lot on whether he likes you or not.
Gyrates wildly between these things. All right. So what's the move? Are you trying to disable that trap door? What are you guys doing?
Well, it seems like the only way in. Unless, again, we could wait for somebody to come out, maybe go to lunch or go to dinner or something and borrow their badge.
You wait for a long time, and no one comes out. In fact, I would say with, after like 20 minutes, Uru, you can still just hear like the same 6 sets of thoughts doing the exact same things.
I feel like this is a trap.
It's nothing going on in there. They're just repeating themselves.
Automata.
In this hallway, so the main front doors are unlocked. We could go through that, but it's the back 2 doors that are trapped, or is it the very front doors?
Okay, so you have these little side doors, like the little gray squares. Those appear, those both appear just locked. However, the double doors, which seem to lead like further into the facility, are what's trapped. These front doors are just unlocked, just open.
Are there any computer terminals or anything inside this hallway?
Not
Just
in the
empty.
foyer, no.
Well, I guess we
Could we
need to
just
do an
not?
engineering and a computer check. See if we can get through without dying.
I'm feeling lucky.
Nobody is going to die again.
Are there cameras around too, I imagine?
There is a camera in the foyer, yeah. Sorry, excuse me.
Can I take care of the camera first?
You could try to make a computer's check to override it.
Yeah, I'll help you with that. You didn't need any help.
Hey.
All right. Yeah, Koss, you shut off at least this camera, like all the cameras in the front hallway. You can like loop them, do whatever you would like to them.
Yep, it'll loop from before we got here.
Hell yeah. All right. In
And
that
it's
case, you guys are
another
free to go in there.
computers and engineering.
Should we
Let's
hit
do
one of
it.
these side doors? Go through one of these side doors? Or should we take the main entrance?
Do I hear voices coming from this? Or not voices, but telepathic sense? Anything with the mind in these doors? On the left or the right?
No. But give me a perception check, because you're like listening at the doors over there.
Yes.
Oh, smash all these nat 20 boys. Here we go. Uru, you hear a faint like of mechanical footsteps, seeming like moving back and forth.
something
Yeah.
robotic.
Nasty robots. Security droids, patrol class.
Maybe we should do the side door.
Left or right?
Can you hack one of them?
It would be a computer's check. They all have like those, black boxes that you would slide an ID card over. So basically, you kind of pop one of those open or use your computer to hack it.
I told you we should have kidnapped one of the employees.
All right, let's hack one of these doors.
All right.
Somebody help me.
All right, left or right?
Oh,
Left.
left.
Left. Left.
Somebody
left.
decided.
Good, somebody decided. All right. Give me a second. Gotta get my polygon reveal tool. All right. So I'll read you a description of where you guys are now. Off-white ceramic tiles, speckled with green, glint in the powerful light given off by rectangular fixtures built into the ceiling. Steel doors, some adorned with nameplates, branch off from the corridor, leading to various rooms within the facility. Compact black security cameras keep watch from the ceiling, spaced at 30-foot intervals.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna immediately try and hack those cameras.
Okay, I'll say the A2 hallway area, the cameras are like on the same system, presumably.
Oh, okay. So do I need to do a check or?
Oh yeah, it would still be a check. I'm just saying like the ones in this
Oh,
hallway, like those 30-foot interval ones, are probably.
29.
That is a success. You do loop the hallway ones.
Cool.
But pretty quickly you hear. What do you do? As you can hear something walking towards you.
What do I do? I enable my cloaking field, and I just find there's no like hiding places or nooks or crannies or anything, is there?
Not really.
So I just enable my cloaking field and I stand still.
Okay, you kind of
Why can't
active
we go in
camo
the-
Halo style. Coming from around the corner, you see a patrol class security droid. These ones less designed to look like those red fancy ones to help guests. This is just a straight defense patrol class security robot.
Yeah.
Give me a stealth check as you see this thing come around the corner with its like blank screen face.
Jesus.
You see its face like glow briefly, and it just like gets to about here. You can hear a second one around the corner, and then they seem to stop, turn, and start going back where they were.
As they go back around the corner, I go back through the door, and I tell everybody there's two security robots in there.
Let's say
patrol.
Uru, you definitely heard stomps from both sides.
If you just think it telepathically, we can communicate, Flack. I can relay it to them safely.
Ooh.
I do that.
All right. What do you guys do?
Want to
Could
try
we
the other
hack
door?
one of the droids and make them fight each other, or can we hack two at the
Wars.
same time?
You could try.
Well, somebody could try. Not MK. He didn't go to
Boss, you
school
want
for
to try
that?
and hack a droid?
What do you think, Koss?
Nah, been there, done that.
Yeah, that's old news. Let's blow some shit up.
Light him up.
No, they'll hack a droid. He knows how these guys get when it's time to explode things.
Okay.
Can I fit through that door?
So we're decided we're just going to attack.
Yeah, you can
Is that what we
squeeze through.
decided?
All right. Wait, so you are attacking? In which case, I guess move over there.
I don't know. I'm asking, I guess.
No.
In my head to Uru.
I'm just being a middleman at this point. Middle bear.
Middle there.
We're going to fight him? What are we going to do? Might as well, right?
I mean, we don't have one of these yet in our robot menagerie. That's my only concern.
Yes, the collector.
That's my concern.
I just want to make sure that our robot army is as stacked as possible.
Flack will enable his
Yes, I like that plan.
motion detection badge
Ooh.
just to give me a little, just let me know if somebody's coming at us within 60 feet.
Okay. Does it work through walls?
Let me read. It says reduce this distance by 20 feet for each interposing closed door or substantial barrier, such as a wall, at least 1 inch thick.
So normally it's 60, right?
Normally it's 60, so you reduce it by 20 for every wall or door.
Yeah, you think the wall's probably blocking them. All right, so go for the computers check. MK is aiding for a +2 here. All right, so the one that comes back around the corner here, I'm going to mark it as you hack it with just like a little trophy, another trophy for the collection. However, as you hear that, you hear like Patrol Bot 1 compromised. Move in to intercept. And I'm going to reveal the full hallway, and we're going to roll for initiative.
Here we go.
Ugh.
Wait, hold on. let me delete people's old entries first.
No, there's no time.
There's always time.
Pick me up. I got such a good roll too.
Oh my god, there's a lot of them.
God, everyone. Okay, 17 is MK's new one. Flack's new one is the not showing up.
Keep my hold.
I'll take
Okay,
that one.
costs. All right, I need Koss's and Zashi's now.
I don't think I've ever rolled an initiative that high. Ever
Wow,
in
that
the
is
history.
bad for me.
That was wild.
That is +4 again. I need to figure out how to add that, but
Okay,
I can
hold on.
show you. It's like the gear icon next to your initiative, and then you should be able to add it. No, yeah. Where's it at?
I think it's up at the top next to the
Yeah,
Starfinder.
I'm trying to think of how to
logo.
add it on this character sheet.
Whoa, whoops. That was laggy. What was the first one supposed to be? Should be 10. No. Okay. Cool. Let's descend our order. Get some combat music. Alright. Flack. This one's hacked. But there are 3 more patrol bots inbound around the hallways.
Okay. So I will come up here and this one's hacked, so it's not coming at me, right? It's not attacking me or anything.
It's not going to get you.
All right, I'm just going to pop around the corner and make my trick attack shot against this robot over here.
All right.
So let me give you I do still have my cloaking field on.
All right, that'll be a trick attack.
And I'll use my Corona laser pistol. Does 29 hit?
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, 29 does hit.
So that's 34 damage.
You see there's like a big crackling hole with like broken wires burned into this robot.
And
Alright.
I will step back.
Uru. You can hear more coming through the other door. Kind of pick your route.
If I'm already at this door, I want to hold this door so we don't get flanked.
Okay.
Uh,
Alright, you get into a position there. Are you just like readying an attack?
yeah. Because we don't know that this goes all the way around like it does.
Yeah, I revealed it for ease of combat right now, but you don't know that it's a perfect loop. You just can you can hear that they're coming from both directions.
Yeah, so since I hear that, I want to stand guard here to protect everybody.
Roger that.
I'm gonna ready an action. Ready to whenever the door if a door opens, I'm gonna swing at an enemy with my hammer.
Gotcha. All right, readying to swing once the door opens. MK. MK, are you muted?
God damn it. I'm ready in action to fire
immediately
my pistol.
calling it.
Readying in action to fire my pistol.
All right, Koss, you see two of your teammates like getting ready to throw down. I'm gonna move MK like one space just so you guys aren't like technically overlapped.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Koss, what's the move here? You have a robot under your control, or you just have yourself?
What can the new robot do?
Actually, since this is a full handout that I have from the compendium, I can just show you. You should be able to see that character sheet once it pops up. Or maybe not. Can you just see its bio?
Yeah.
Alright. Now you should be able to see its character sheet.
I think roll 20 barfed again, at least for me.
Okay. Well, basically, it has like integrated weapons that it can use. It has a main thing is that big cannon is actually an integrated tactical arc emitter. Can hit people pretty accurately with electricity damage to knock them out. Has a slam attack. If damaged, it can heal itself with nanite repair.
It's going to kind of mimic flak and pop out and then use its electricity to attack the one in the hallway and then pop back.
It also just, can do a... Here, let me click it, see if you guys can see this. But if you check its jolting arc ability at the bottom, it can, like, make a bigger blast of electricity. Basically, it can fire an arc of electricity up to 4 creatures within 40 feet, dealing 1d8 damage to each target. But you said it's gonna take a blast at the other robot?
Yes.
Alright, that's gonna be with the tactical arc emitter. Let me scroll back up to its weapon systems. Alright, that is a 31 to hit for 5 damage. But it is still alive. Zachi.
Oh, I can't see anything going down, right? I mean, behind doors.
Yeah, but you can tell
Just
there's
hear
like a
stuff.
firefight and robots coming in from 2 sides.
All right. I'm just gonna ready in action to fire my laser rifle as soon as either a door is opened and I get line of sight on something, or something comes in.
Alright.
Black looks behind him. Where is everybody?
Everyone's just ready actions in the fucking hallway.
I got this flak. Take him out.
I can telepathically communicate with him like we are waiting.
Oh yeah, that's
The robots come from the other side.
Alright.
Okay.
So, how fast are these mother truckers? 30 feet. Alright, that boy's gonna double move. This one's gonna pop the door open, so everyone's ready to action goes off.
Yay.
We'll start
Are you
with
ready?
Uru, swing your hammer, then MK, shoot your shit, then Zashi, shoot your shit. Alright. 24 is gonna hit.
Jesus.
But the robot is still up, albeit with, like, one of its arms just gets smashed off its body.
Jesus.
MK.
Oh, God.
19 with the tactical tri-laser will hit for 8. Causing a smoking hole through its shoulder. Just burns away part of the shoulder, but it's still standing. Zashi.
Okay.
And the finer azimuth
Nice.
laser rifle goes off right through the faceplate and it goes down.
Teamwork.
Alright. 5, 10. My touchpad is just like fully not working on my laptop right now. It keeps cutting out. Okay, 5, 10, 15, 20. Alright. This thing's gonna kind of try to get an angle on Flak here. And go in with the integrated tactical arc emitter.
That's against EAC.
That's against EAC. That is a crit on a nat 20.
Oof.
Let's see if it has any special effects. That's gonna be 13 damage. Oh wow, it's actually, I didn't realize the arc emitters are a cone of electrical energy. Holy fuck.
Oh.
So that hit the robot too?
It does. Actually, okay. I was mistaken. I thought it was a 30-foot range. It's a 15-foot range, so I don't think it can get you. Yeah. So it's actually just gonna have to double move to get like right up next to Flak.
Ah.
And that's gonna be their turn. I tried to use dice to randomize their patrol positions, and it did not work out well for them.
Uru shouts telepathically.
I will
Help Flak, I got this.
do my do a step back.
Okay.
And yeah. Second verse, same as the first. Let's do this trick attack.
All right, go for it. That'll work.
Stealth.
Roll to hit.
It's 20 hit.
20 does hit.
40 damage.
What a roll.
Brutal. Look at that roll.
Another robot goes down, just right like through that faceplate again, just cracking it, burning away the internals.
Nice.
God damn.
All right, that's Uru, and I believe you can charge through difficult terrain, right?
Yes.
Okay, in that case, the door will not stop you from charging this guy.
Okay. I'm gonna
Even though
charge,
effectively you'd be squeezing, but you can ignore
Yeah.
that.
and I'm going to see Bull Rush and the trip. Let me see.
Okay.
I gotta read it. I'm just gonna link it real quick.
It's also in the compendium as well. Next to the journal.
I keep forgetting we have.
Use the
And that
compendium.
is not like that. When you succeed the Bull Rush can maneuver and target maneuver to stop at an obstacle, target falls prone. Okay. So he's not gonna fall prone. But I can trip him on my charge.
Okay, going for a trip attempt. Alright, so you charge forward, it's just like security protocols initiated.
Yeah, I'm gonna trip.
And you have 10-foot reach with your hammer, right?
Oh, it's attacking me? Yeah, I have reach and I have lunge active.
Okay, so yeah, you can hit it. It's not gonna op attack you.
Okay.
And this is a trip instead of a bull rush, you said?
Yeah, I'm using a trip.
Okay. Go for that KAC roll.
Yep. $34, and I get +4 to that because I have improved combat maneuver trip.
That is enough to knock it prone, and you do that as part of your charge, so I believe you can still take a swing of the hammer, which will be at an additional +4 to hit because he's prone.
I can't take a hit with the hammer, I don't think. It's because it's an unwieldy weapon.
Well, can you still take a bite then from this angle? Because you have lunge?
Yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
so it'll be a bite instead, and I guess his AC is reduced by 4, but basically, you know, essentially a +4 to
Yeah.
hit. You knew what I meant. That is enough. You rip off one of its arms, like the opposite arm this time, with just your mouth, but it is still a functional robot. That's MK.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna step out behind Uru and just take another shot
Okay.
with the
While it's prone,
old
it will get a bonus to it, AC against range, just so you know.
son of a bitch. Well, it can't op attack me while it's prone, can it?
I think it can. It takes a big penalty to hit.
All right. Well, it won't. Scared.
All right, you sprint
Yeah.
past the robot. It's gonna try with at a -4 to hit you with a slam attack. If Roll20 would like to let that happen, that is a 23 to hit
Come on.
for 11 bludgeoning. Basically, you walk
Yeah,
by and it's still functioning arm, just like it's like getting punched by like a fucking iron paperweight. It just hits your shin.
God, dick.
Engage security protocol.
All right.
Initiate step 3.
All right.
You
Well,
see this
that's-
one
that's
also
my
starts to glow
move
as
at
it
my
initiates
stand.
security protocol. Give me a computers check, MK.
Ooh. Sure, it's not missed it. Oh, okay.
29 is a success. These security robots are uploading footage of your tactics as a party.
I'm gonna shout that telepathically at Uru.
Okay?
Or I guess I'll just think it really loud in my head and hope he's listening.
They're uploading! Alright, but you can still take your
I
shot.
don't know what that means.
Just because it punched you does not mean it, you don't get to take it.
Oh, I double moved. I was.
Oh, you double moved. Sorry. Alright,
because
gotcha.
I was prone.
Costs. What'd you think? employees look afflicted, as the title says. They are like zoned out, looking at devices, filing papers. Just nothing going on. I'm going to describe this room. So 4 rows of beige plastic cubicles occupy the large room. Each identical cubicle contains a metal desk and a swivel chair, differentiated only by various personal items and knickknacks, such as photographs and kitschy paperweights. The green carpet and off-white concrete walls provide a bland and unimaginative decor. Potted plants adorn each corner of the room, and screens on the walls cycle through holographic images of outdoor scenery, accompanied by motivational phrases like persevere, collaborate. When we all work together, we win together.
Darn it.
In a tech.
Hang in there. Picture of a skittermander hanging on a rope.
They seem to fully just be ignoring you.
You say these
Can I-
cubicles have terminals at them?
Yes, they all have terminals.
Let's do some hacking.
All right, you go into an empty terminal.
I'm gonna wave my very big paw in front of one of their faces.
They kind of blink and try to keep working. Do you actually like try to grab them or anything, or just kind of wave your hand?
I'm gonna touch one.
Okay.
No touching.
Are you checking for curses on them?
Yes,
Smart.
and the computers.
Me too.
This is not a curse effect. Make a computer's check to figure it out. Are you just poking one, or are you actually trying to like stop them doing what they're doing?
Poke.
Okay, nothing happens. You guys make a computer's check on them as well.
Can I take a file one of them has and drop it on the floor?
With that computer's check, Flack and Cost, before you do the file thing.
Yep.
These people, you look at their heads, they've been implanted with cybernetic features to increase productivity. It looks like with that Cost, you don't notice this at first, but Flack goes, that's true to a degree that's bad. Like, these people are refusing to work. Like, refusing to stop working.
Oh, these guys are slaves.
You think that if they were like, I think with the 30 though, that DC passes, before Uru knocks that file, you know, if you guys try to stop them, they will get violent.
Yeah, just ignore them, guys. They'll get violent if you try and stop them.
Is there any way to free them? Can we turn off a chip or something? It's
So
actually, yeah, the technological members of our team.
give me a as you see the scars for like on their skull for the brain chip implant essentially. Go ahead and give me either an engineering or mysticism check as you try to either use magic or like knowledge of engineering to figure out how exactly these things are functioning. So individually you guys would have all failed, but working together you managed to pass. A subject that has been implanted with the device gains the benefit of 8 hours of rest with only 2 hours of sleep, and can go without eating or drinking for several extra days when they normally wouldn't be able to. While the implant allows the subject to focus on a task without distractions, it also eventually overwrites the subject's desire to eat, drink, or rest, which is, of course, very detrimental to the subject's health. You also, with assisting Cost over it, Flack, you add some of your own engineering knowledge you've picked up over the years. MK, your hands kind of glow, and you kind of see the tracery of circuitry under the skin as you examine it. You guys determine something more disturbing. If a subject dies with this implant, they would rise as a cybernetic zombie in a matter of hours.
Oh. Wow.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah. With that, though, let's take one last 5-minute break, and then we'll finish up with our cybernetic zombies. And then of course, you say you're going over to one of the empty terminals to examine that as well. We'll do that when we come back.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. You guys ready?
Yep.
Cool beans.
Ready.
All right. All right. So who is going to investigate one of the terminals?
Well, I think Koss and I would probably team up on it.
Okay. All right, Koss and you start heading toward terminal. Flack, I mean, that would be able to certainly hack one of these computers.
Okay.
Now that you guys have successfully accessed the network through one of the cubicle computers, you find 2 data modules. The first is labeled Eclipse Mail, and the second one is labeled Penumbra. There are other modules, of course, like business practices, but those are like the 2 that jump out at you. Which do you want to investigate first?
Well, Penumbra sounds pretty interesting to me.
Okay. You 2 go look at the Penumbra one first. As you try to open that one, you notice it has a secondary security protocol. There's another firewall just around this module. Give me another computers check. This one you can assist. One person just has to do it. All right. I'm gonna say Flack did it because that is the number. The module details the development of Penumbra, a new social media app created by the company. Penumbra is described as a private infosphere accessible only to its users. Those who purchase and download it can share video recordings, status updates, pictures, and their current location with other users. User feeds are broadcast through signal transmitters around Kuvakara, which is Penumbra's test market. The module also refers to something called the Penumbra Protocol, according to which Eclipse will broadcast a new type of signal to each comm unit on which Penumbra is installed. Details on this signal aren't present, but you would likely associate with a similar signal that affected the guests at New Elysium. The signal is meant to go out 1 week from the current day. Today.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Jeez.
It sounds like this test market being with the app Penumbra, you know, the resort had about 200 guests, maybe even less than that. Kuvakara is a city of 30 million. And I'll drop that note in the Discord so you guys can see it.
Great.
That leaves the other one that just says Eclipse Mail Module.
Well, let's check it out.
This module appears to be an inbox for office messaging, like Slack. A group message titled Relocation details internal preparations for a move from the HQ building in Kuvakara to a new location on the planet Verse's dark side. Which you guys know is like, you know, well below freezing at all times, as it never faces the sun. This message is addressed to all personnel and is signed Keon Reese, Executive Director of Software Development.
Does it give a specific location or just a general location?
It does not. It seems to be purposefully vague.
Okay.
All right.
Well, if these are the worker drones here, there are other doors we haven't looked at. Maybe there's a manager somewhere who has higher access, or maybe
Yeah, you can look around. There's a
Yeah,
lot of doors
definitely
around.
should be. Yeah. Is there any way for me while I'm at this terminal? You mentioned that the security robots are uploading information about us. Is there any way to access that and delete it?
I'm gonna say with a computer's check, you could try to track recent network activity.
Ugh. Me too.
Wherever they were uploading it to, it's somewhere on this local network in the building to something called T class. All right. Go. What were you saying, Koss?
Can Kaz do like a quick check of all these people still here, and see if any of them would die if their implant turned off?
Give me a medicine check. You have never seen cybernetic implants to improve productivity taken to like such a degree. This, you're not sure if like taking this out would kill them or what would happen.
MK is going to listen at this door.
All right. This one I actually forgot to reveal earlier. That was the one you could see through the trapped glass doors. It's like a reception area.
Shit.